What's going on? What's going on? Trip Kramer here from tripadvice.com. Okay, on today's video, I'm going to be doing something really cool. So over at the TripAdvice coaching program, we have our students go out and do cold approaches, meaning they go out and they talk to women on the streets, wherever, bars, even malls, walking around grocery stores, and we have them actually record the audio of the approaches. So what this does is it helps us understand what's going on when they're going over and talking to women. We get to hear every single detail and give really good breakdowns and analysis on what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. We help them with their tonality, with what they're saying, with their flirting, with the opening statements, with teasing, you name it, we do it all. And so on today's video, I got permission from one of my students to post the audios that he has been doing, the approaches that he's been doing, and break them down here for you. Now, I have kept it anonymous, so we changed the pitch a little bit, so that's why it's going to sound a little bit funny, and of course, we blank out any names and things like that. So these are, yes, indeed, real approaches, and I'm going to tell you everything in terms of how I see his approach, how he's doing it, if it's good, it's bad, in terms of all of the little details. And if you want your approaches analyzed, then don't hesitate to look into the TripAdvice coaching program. Go to tripadvicecoaching.com where you can learn about how you can work with a coach one-on-one, and we can listen in on your approaches, help you with your dating profile, and get you to a place that you never thought you'd be at. It's crazy the results that these guys have gotten in the past couple of years with my new coaches on staff and everyone just helping out. So tripadvicecoaching.com. In the meantime, let's go ahead and listen. Here's the first approach. Let's break it down.
Hey. I wanted to stop you and say hi.
Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you. Hi, nice to meet you.
Where you from?
Originally South Florida, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I spend my winters in Miami and summers up here.
Okay, cool. So I like how he went in, asked a question, and now he's doing this comment, right? So it doesn't have to be necessarily question. You can comment. And so he offered up information about himself. Also, I know that it's the audio is a little bit distorted with the pitch, but notice how his tonality is really good. At the end of every sentence, he's coming down in inflection. They call that downward tonality. So it's not like you're trying to get something from her. It's more of a challenging kind of tone.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm from West Palm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why'd you move here?
Law school.
Law school? You're going to be a lawyer?
Okay, cool. So she said law school. He said, you're going to be a lawyer? And he does this, I wish he would have done it a little better. He kind of said, you're going to be a lawyer? Like, I know what he was trying to do there. He was trying to tease her, like, you're going to be a lawyer? And we've been working on this together. If you're going to tease a girl, it has to be a little bit more hyperbolic. You can't just say, you're going to be a lawyer. That sounds like you're just being a dick. Like, it doesn't really work that way. So instead, I would have said, okay, let me guess. You're going to be a lawyer. That's how I would have said it. Let's keep going.
All right. What are you doing now?
See, sounds a little weird, like a little judgy. Like, that's not going to really build attraction because that's too much of like a neg, too much of a diss.
Right now, going grocery shopping.
Grocery shopping. I'm going here a couple blocks and I'm going this way. Why don't we walk with each other?
Really cool. Okay, so pro and con of that. Why don't we walk with each other? Very dominant. I like that he's just saying, hey, let's continue this conversation. I don't love the idea of offering to continue the conversation by walking. The idea is we're stopped here. We're in the middle of a conversation now. If you start walking, it's less of a conversation. It's more of, oh, we're just trying to get to our destination while we exchange a few words. Instead, I would have not said that, stayed in conversation, continued to talk to her, and then if she absolutely said, hey, well, I have to go, but this has been fun, or like it sounds like she has to go, but she's sort of interested in the conversation, then maybe at that point I would continue walking with her.
So, you moved here. Mm-hmm. Do you like it so far?
So far, it's been nice.
I love how comfortable he sounds. Listen to the pacing of his voice, not the pitch, but the pacing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Are you from here or?
Yeah.
Okay, now she finally asked a question. When a girl that you're talking to asks you a question on a cold approach, this is a sign that we're starting to get somewhere. Like, she clearly is okay with you being around.
I am from here. I have a business here, and spend my summer months, part of fall here, and then spend 6 months a year, 5 months a year in Florida.
I like how he's offering up information. We've been working on these approaches for a while. A lot of guys will just keep on asking questions. In fact, funny enough, we've gotten to the point where he's gotten so good at not riffing and just doing too many questions, where I'm trying to pull him back a little bit and say, you got to get her more involved in the conversation. You can't just keep on talking. You do have to ask some questions, or else it's just someone talking at someone. We don't want someone talking at someone. We want a conversation.
Months in Hawaii.
Okay.
That's the lifestyle I have right now. But I do love I love the north though, because we have awesome hiking trails.
Right.
We have a lot of
hiking
history.
in Georgia a lot.
Okay, so this is really cool. The reason why, when you're talking to a girl and you want to offer up conversation topics like he's doing, like he's just like rambling and all of it's rambling's negative connotation, but let's just say he's bantering, that's better. He's kind of bantering a little bit and he's offering up, okay, some topics, okay, hiking. Now she has an opportunity to latch on to the topic. See, I'll rewind that again. He said something about hiking and boom, she came in.
But I love the north though, because we have awesome hiking trails.
Right.
We have a lot of
hiking
history.
in Georgia a lot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So you're a hiker.
I
You're
like
not
it.
just like a beach bum or something like that.
No, not a beach. But
Okay, so this is him attempting to qualify. I don't love his tone here. It sounds, again, kind of judgy. It's like, oh, you're a hiker, not like a beach bum. I would have said it with a little bit more emphasis, like, all right, so I think I got you pegged. You're a hiker, and there's no way that you're just sitting on your couch eating Doritos all day. See how that sounds just a little bit more interesting than the way he put it? So we're working on that as well. Just more emphasis so it sounds more fun and jokey and teasy rather than judgy.
definitely a little bit of a beach bum, but I like the mountains too.
You're a mountain girl?
For sure. No, we used to go hiking all the time.
Oh yeah, okay. Good. Have you ever camped?
I have camped.
Like tent camp or
Like
fancy
tent,
camp?
No, like tent camping in Pacific.
His banter is really solid here. Again, it's not just, you ever go camping? But he follows up with something a little bit more interesting. Fancy camp or like rugged camping, right?
Oh, you better.
Yeah, I mean.
All right. So you make new friends here so far or no?
Yeah, I have. It's been easy to
Yeah.
meet people through school, and I have a little dog, so I take him to the park, and it's a good way to meet people.
More positive things to say. I like how he is now jumping to a different topic. I tell my students that if you stay on one topic too long, what ends up happening is the conversation becomes more about the topic rather than you two connecting. And I want to bounce a little bit between topics, so it's about two people connecting on multiple things rather than, oh yeah, I talked to this random guy about hiking.
Oh, that's cool. I've never had a dog.
Really?
Yeah. I grew up with cats.
Interesting.
But
My
I've
family-
never
everyone in
had
my
a dog.
family's allergic to cats, so we never have cats at home.
Oh yeah?
I should mention, he's got this banter down. We had to get to this point. He was not like this, okay? The Trip Advice coaching program completely 180'd him from, I'm this guy who just kind of goes in and says a couple words and then leaves because of approach anxiety and also just not having the skill set to do this, to now he's more comfortable and able to improvise throughout this kind of approach, to be able to bring up new topics and just kind of go boom, 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 boom. And you can hear it too. She goes, oh, really? Like, you can hear how she's getting interested. Now, mind you, this doesn't happen with every woman, right? The whole idea is you want to do a lot of approaches to find that woman who's going to be interested in that conversation. But if you don't have those skill sets down, then no woman's going to be interested in conversation because it's just kind of boring.
Okay. It's on kind of my like to-dos once I settle down.
Yeah.
Have myself a family, do all that stuff.
Having a dog is definitely a part of that.
Well, yeah, but I like to have travel. Like travel flexibility.
Yeah, I mean,
I prioritize my
dog's
my
small, so I take
flights.
him on the plane like when I travel.
This is that moment in the conversation where it feels like we're in a conversation now. There's a click. It's not so much an attraction click, knowing if she's interested or not. It's the click of, I feel like I'm just talking to someone and not thinking too much ahead. You can kind of get that from the vibe of both of them here. And that's a point you want to get to. Sometimes it can be quicker and you can grab a number, and that's totally fine too. But other times it's good to get to the point where it feels more natural in conversation because you've been talking for a couple of minutes.
Like he just takes a little puppy Xanax and goes on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You seem like you would be a middle sister. Is that correct?
Oldest sister.
Okay, so I taught him this. This is the let me guess kind of game where you're pegging her on something. Like, let me guess, you are a, and he said middle sister here. It makes the conversation fun. It can also be kind of teasy. Calling her middle sister is not super teasy, but still brings a little bit more interest to the conversation.
You're the oldest sister?
Oldest sister.
Out of how many?
3.
Does that make you responsible or no?
Definitely responsible.
I'm the oldest brother.
He's like cold reading her and he's nailing it.
Really? Does that make you the irresponsible one that had to make the mistakes for everyone else to learn from?
I
or
make
are
no
you the
mistakes.
responsible one?
Okay, so he did not pass the shit test there. I'm going to rewind this. She just called him the irresponsible one, and he said, I make no mistakes. That's an error. That's a shit test, meaning she's teasing you. When you get that shit test, you agree and exaggerate. So I would have said, yeah, totally irresponsible. Like, I flunked out of high school. I'm living on my mom's couch. And again, this is not self-deprecation because it's not true. You're just joking around and adding into what she's saying. It sounds less defensive. Let's listen again.
I make you the irresponsible one that had to make the mistakes for everyone else to learn
I
from?
make
or
no
are you the
mistakes.
responsible one?
I make no mistakes.
Really?
Yeah. You make mistakes?
All the time.
Like what?
Oh, I don't.
So I would have teased her. I would have said, wait, you make mistakes? Okay, you know what? I got to go. This is not going to work. This is never going to work between us. I need a girl who makes 0 mistakes. So that's just teasing, and you would do it with a smile.
Everyone has to make mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty. I was very quiet actually when I was a
Really?
kid. So.
I'm more quiet. I'm pretty introverted.
Are you?
Yeah.
I would have disagreed with her, challenged her a little bit to spike some emotions. I would have said, no, you're not. No, you're not. Just disagree. No, you're not. You're talking to me right now. I'm a complete stranger, and we're chatting.
Do you read books or no?
I do. Not as often as I probably should.
Okay. I read before bed every night. Fiction.
I used to be like a big reader before bed. Then I got too much into like TV, and it's better for me to turn my mind off and just fall asleep.
Okay. Whatever. Everybody has their own style,
Everyone
right?
has their thing.
So you're
Again, this is like him attempting to tease, but not really getting it down.
introverted.
A little bit, yeah.
I was like very quiet. I was a nerd when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like a little nerd, you know, big old glasses, hair parted,
Really?
and I was very, very, very quiet.
This is like self-deprecation, but I don't think this is bad. I wouldn't say for you to do this. I'm more just commenting on what he's doing. It's not self-deprecation. It is, but he's talking about his past self, which compared to today, she knows that he's not that person anymore. So it kind of works.
And then I started running cross country and track
Okay.
in high school and college. I became a social guy. And then I realized that I had to learn how to be very social if I wanted to own a business, which is my goal.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I just wouldn't have said this. Even if it's true, it doesn't make you look amazing. It's just not the best thing to say, like, I used to be a loser. I don't know. Like, I know he's not saying that literally, but he's kind of hinting at it. It just doesn't help the conversation. In fact, it could hurt it.
So I worked on that.
I'm headed this way.
Yeah, I'm going 1 more block this way.
All right. Well, it's nice meeting you.
Yeah, let's exchange numbers.
Yeah.
And we'll get a drink.
Cool. So audio ends there. Got her number, and there you go. So it was a really great conversation. I would say if I had to grade this, I would give this like a B plus A minus, like pretty solid. He got her number. Conversation went really well. The only reason why it's not an A or an A plus is because I think he could have done better on some of the teasing aspects. And I feel like at times it was almost a little jumpy, like we're going from conversation to conversation to conversation topic. I know that contradicts what I said earlier is where you want to do that, but it's just, there's a little bit of a flow to it. If I were him, I would have gone maybe a little bit deeper into some of the topics. I felt like we were on too many all at once. Again, I'm giving a very deep dive analysis here. I'm being hard on this just so you can learn. If you want to learn this from an actual coach, like if you want to work with someone on my team that will give this kind of analysis on approaches that you would go out and do, go to tripadvicecoaching.com. That way we can work with you and we can help you with going out and meeting women and giving you an analysis very similar to this. Also, write a comment down below. Do you want to see more of these? I got a ton more of these. And if you do, hit the like button and then just comment down below more. And that's going to tell me, okay, more people want to see content like this. Hope that helps. Go to tripadvicecoaching.com if you need more help, and I'll see you on the next video.